Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Harihi Om. Ganesh Ji Bhajan.
जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति लंबोदर पीतांबर सोहे हरिमणि मुकुट नयन रत्नारे लंबोदर पीतांबर सोहे हरिमणि मुकुट नयन रत्नारे गजमणि माल गले बिज सोहे गजमणि माल गले बिज सोहे लाल लाल में चंद्र कलावे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे मोदक लेत देत जननी जब ठुमुक चलत नोर जनकारे मोदक लेत देत जननी जब ठुमुक चलत नोर जनकारे रिद्धि सिद्धि दो चवर दुलावत रिद्धि सिद्धि दो चवर दुलावत सुर समोह गति होत सुखावे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हारे जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणेश जय गणपति जय जय
बोलिए गजानन स्वामी की जय हर हर महादेव Namaskar everyone and welcome to the Hindu Prachaar Kendra's Sunday morning Satsang live as usual from our Sri Ram Vijay Mandir located at Jalibia Trace, Raghunaran Road in Enterprise, Central Trinidad. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's always a joy to be in your company for Satsang. And please, right now, go out and encourage others to join us by sharing our Satsang links to your circle of family and friends. I want to thank you all for the wonderful messages and greetings for Guru Purnima. It's very reassuring when we hear from you. It's very reassuring to know how much you are appreciating our efforts to share and to teach and to impart knowledge as best as we can. Now, Satsang continues to be a learning experience, not just for you, but for all of us who are part of the Satsang team, committed to being here every Sunday morning with you all. Now, earlier this morning, Shiromani ji asked me, so Geeta ji, what are you going to focus on this Sunday for Satsang? And I told her, well, you know, I have a bhakti session pending for the longest while, requested by some of you for just bhajans and stotras. So maybe we can do this type of session today. And then when I went and I checked our Panchang, our Hindu calendar, I realized that very day, on Thursday 14th, Shravan Mass was starting. So I thought this is a perfect time to do this type of session, because during this month there is heightened worship, heightened sadhana, where bhaktas focus on worship of Bhagwan Shiva on Mondays and Jagadambe Mata on Tuesdays. So this will be our focus this morning, and we look at Shravan Mass and some of its associated traditions. But before we get into this and into our bhajans, let us join together to do our early morning Dharti Pranam Mantra. You can follow the lyrics on the screen, and remember, the idea is to get you to know this by heart, to learn it by heart, to understand what it means, and to ensure that you do it as part of your sadhana, especially on a morning. So please repeat after me. You can follow Vishalaji as we speak to ourselves by looking at our hands first. Kindly repeat. Karagre vasate Lakshmi,
Karagre vasate Lakshmi,
Kar madhye Saraswati,
Kar madhye Saraswati,
Kar mule tu Govinda,
Kar mule tu Govinda,
Prabhate Kar darshanam,
Prabhate Kar darshanam,
Samudra vasane Devi,
Samudra vasane Devi,
Parvat sthana mandale,
Parvat sthana mandale,
Vishnu patni namastubhyam,
Vishnu patni namastubhyam,
Padasparsham chamasvame,
Padasparsham shamasvame.
Boliye Dharti Mata ki Jai, Jai Jagadambe. So, as I mentioned, all our bhajans and chants will be in praise of Bhagwan Shiva, most of them, and we'll do one, of course, too, in honor of Devi. And I was thinking we actually haven't had a satsang focused on worship of Bhagwan Shiva since Mahashivratri. So it's a good thing that Shravan Mass has led us in this direction, because we have many Shiva bhaktas amongst us, and we will be doing some extra singing and chanting this morning. So Krishna ji is leading us in this very soothing kirtan, praising Bhagwan Shiva, who has the powerful purifying Ganga flowing from his jata, and who is worshipped by Bhagwan Sri Rama as one of the 12 Jyotirlingas called Rameshwara. So let us join. The lyrics will come up on screen, but they're simple enough. You can just listen and sing along. Join with us. Let's worship Bhagwan Shankar. Boliye Umapati Mahadev ki Jai.
Hare Om Gangadhara Ramalingeshwara.
Hare Om Gangadhara Ramalingeshwara.
Hare Om Gangadhara Ramalingeshwara.
Hare Om Gangadhara
Shiva Shiva Hara Hara Shiva Shambho
Shiva Shiva Hara Hara Shiva Shambho
Shiva Shambho Hara Hara 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 Shambho
Hara Om Gangadhara Ramalingeshwara
Hara Om Gangadhara Ramalingeshwara
Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya
Om Namah Shivaya
Bhavabhayanashana Shiva Shambho
Bhavabhayanashana Shiva Shambho
Bhavabhayanashana Shiva Shambho
Bhavabhayanashana Shiva Shambho
Pavimochana Hara Shambho
Papa Vimochana Hara Shambho
Om Gangadhara Ramalingeshwara
Hara Om Gangadhara Ramalingeshwara
Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya
Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya
Bandha Vimochana Shiva Shambho
Bandha Vimochana Shiva Shambho
Bandha Vimochana Shiva Shambho
Bandha Vimochana Shiva Shambho
Pannagabhushana Hara Shambho
Pannagabhushana Hara Shambho
Pannagabhushana Hara Shambho
Pannagabhushana Hara Shambho
Shiva Shambho Hara 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 Hara Shambho
Om Gangadhara Ramalingeshwara
Hara Om Gangadhara Ramalingeshwara
Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya
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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om
बोले उमापति महादेव की जय हर हर महादेव. And I hope you will just be singing along with us this morning. Remember, life and all that we are doing, it is about what? What are our three special words? Like a special mantra for us. Keep the bhav. So very beautiful bhav in all of these bhajans. We will now praise Divine Mother. And I want to do a dedication, a birthday dedication of this bhajan to Candy Tulsi, who had just had his birthday, a big landmark birthday, and Sarah Tulsi, his daughter. It's so wonderful to see Sarah up and about every time we see her, because she's like a miracle child. She was so ill, and it's just wonderful that she is here and up and about and busy with her father doing everything. So blessed, happy birthday to both of you. And we know you all are real bhaktas of the Divine Mother. So we join with the Kalyaji, all of us. We praise Divine Mother. May Mother give her compassion, her grace, her blessing, her protection to all of us.
Jai Narayan, Jai Jai Durge, Jai Jai Ambe, Namo Namah. Jai सुख भर आता।
तेरा पावन सुमिरन करके अंतर में सुख भर आता। रोम रोम में प्रेम तिहारा बन के भक्ति बिखर जाता।
जय कल्याणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः।
मन अंतर में मंत्र बनो तुम जीवन के गुण धारो ना।
मन अंतर में मंत्र बनो तुम जीवन के गुण धारो ना।
मन अंतर में मंत्र बनो तुम जीवन के गुण धारो माँ। जन्म जन्म के संतापों को तिज से अपने जला दो माँ।
जय रुद्राणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः।
मंगल साथी देने वाले मन वांछित फल बरसाए।
मंगलता के देने वाले मन वांछित फल बरसाए।
मंगल साथी देने वाले मन वांछित फल बरसाए। द्वार तिहारे आके मैया कोई खाली नहीं जाए।
जय ब्रह्माणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः।
जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे
जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः।
जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे
जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः।
जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे
जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः।
बोलिए जगदम्बे माता की जय. So the next bhajan we are going to do, it also contains these two words, Namo Nama. So that will come after, because I want our dear Professor Ji to sing a special bhajan for us whenever he is here, and we're sure that he is coming. I will always tell him, okay, I'm putting you on to sing. And he has this wonderful collection of very traditional bhajans that we grew up hearing. And this one is Jai 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 Tripurari, where we are praising Bhagwan Shankar as the one who destroyed Tripurasura. And I just want to share very quickly this katha with you about Tripurasura. They were this Rakshasa, actually, the three sons of Tarak Asura, who was slain by the Devas. And before passing on, Tarakasur told his three sons that they must avenge his death. And so sometimes, when we want to take revenge and all of that, we engage in all kinds of different things that we wouldn't normally do. So they engage in this very intense tapas, a lot of fasting to please Brahmaji. Now these are similar trends in all of our kathas, and Brahmaji was very pleased with them and asked what boon would they like to have, what blessing, and they said they want to be immortal. They want immortality. But listen, we already that. It's just that we forget. So why do they want to be immortal? So nothing and no one will be able to destroy them. Brahmaji, of course, replied, this is not possible. So they should ask for something else. And they said, well, we want to grant us 3/4 in the three lokas, one made of gold, one made of silver, one made of iron, and all of these have different meanings which we are not getting into, and it was granted to them. So now they had dominion over the three worlds, the Swarga, Prithvi, all the spaces and so on. And what happened when you get this kind of power? What happens? They became what? Cruel, terrible, wicked, very much like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu and all these others that we know. So the boon was granted. And it said the only one, there was a condition. If one arrow could shoot all the 3/4, that is the only time that their destruction will come. And Bhagwan Shankar was the one who was able to have that special blessing of shooting at these three places where these Rakshasas live. So this is why Tripura. Tri means three, Pura means the city or the kingdom. So that very quickly is what we are celebrating in this bhajan that Professor is going to lead us in. And it is actually a celebration, all the bhajans. We'll hear Dukkha Mochana. Dukkha is our sorrow, suffering, difficulty. Mochana, may Bhagwan Shankar free us from that. And he's Mangalakari. He gives all that is auspicious. So we join, the lyrics will come up on screen.
Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari.
I know some voices just certain bhajans. I think this is the case with Professor Ji and this bhajan. So wonderful. And as I said, we'll be doing a little extra chanting this morning. So one more bhajan before we share our pravachan for this morning. And we want to dedicate this bhajan to Ishana Ji, who is having her birthday tomorrow, and she will be making offerings to Bhagwan Shankar while Vishala Ji will lead us in this bhajan. And as I said, Namo Nama, Shiva Shambhu Dinoki Bandhu, Namo Nama. We are offering our salutations again and again to the one who is Dinoki Bandhu, the one who is the friend of the fallen. We will hear these adjectives, these descriptions quite often in many bhajans. Dina Bandhu, Dina Nath, Dina Dayala. And I just wanted to share one quick thought here, because we must approach with humility. So the bhaktas always what? Fall at the feet of Bhagwan. But Mahanji, once he was talking to me and he said, listen, the bhakta, the sevak, the one who takes most advantage of this is Hanuman Baba. Because why do we fall at the feet? Why are we considered fallen? Why do we want to be in such a position? So that Bhagwan what will? Pick us up every time. It's so wonderful to just reflect on this. So again and again we offer salutations, Namo Nama, to Bhagwan Shankar. May he always lift us. May we have that motivation, that perspective and understanding, whatever our challenge, whatever our circumstance, there is an energy that can lift us and pick us up from that fallen state.
Mangalam Bhagavan Shambho, Mangalam Vishwa Bhaktabhya, Mangalam Parvati Nath, Mangalam Bhagavatsala. सुखराशि सुरसरि नमो नमः
नमो नमः
गिरिजापति गंगाधर हरिहर नमो नमः
नमो नमः
शिव शंभो दीनो के बंधु नमो नमः
नमो नमः
गिरिजापति गंगाधर हरिहर नमो नमः
नमो नमः
आ
बोले उमापति महादेव की जय हर हर Mahadev. So I think we've had a really beautiful session of chanting and bhajans. So we look a little now at this month that is called Shravan Mas. Mas means month. Shravan is the name of the month. Another word for month, Mahine as well. And sometimes you will hear Sawan. Sawan, it's also the same thing. It's the 5th month in the Hindu calendar. Actually, look how I will put Professor G on the spot here. Do you know of, yeah, I know you like the golden oldies and the film of long ago. Do you know any song? Sawan Ka Mahina. Well, I wasn't thinking that one because I actually don't know that one too well. Maybe I'm not from that era. But there's, look, Krishna is saying it because sometimes he sings this at home. Mere Naina Savan Bhadu. I think that is the more popular one. And all these young people here looking at us in the strangest of ways. What are these senior citizens talking about? So it's a very, actually this Mere Naina Savan Bhadu, it's so philosophical also because it says, my eyes that, it's like I'm shedding tears like the monsoon rains, Yes, heavy, heavy rains. But phir bhi mera man pyasa, but still my mind is thirsty. What a philosophy. But we're not dealing with that. So this month, it marks the arrival of the southwest monsoons to the Indian subcontinent, Nepal and Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, and those countries in that region. And if you remember, actually, also here we had very adverse weather bulletins and alerts, and that day lots of rain last Thursday. Now in Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean, there is an increasing observation, events, activities for Shravan Mas, particularly the worship of Bhagwan Shiva on Mondays. I know there are many mandirs that have organized the special satsangs, yagyas, events for this. So we'll see briefly what happens in India and what has been the tradition. And Krishna and I, we have witnessed some of these activities while living there. Sometimes the days are going by and normally it's always crowded, but then suddenly the crowds will seem to double and triple whenever there are special occasions. So devotees, the bhaktas, they will frequent the mandirs to join in communal worship there, and also many homes will have pujas going on. And the sadhana that people undertake, we always have our regular spiritual discipline that we follow. They do extra things, so extra vrats and so on, and often quite rigorous. Now Mondays are the busiest during this time, Mondays in the month of Shravan, with intensified worship of Bhagwan Shiva, and those who are the Shaivites, those for whom Bhagwan Shankar is their Pradhan deity, they go wherever there you have the Shiva Lingas, Shiva Mandirs and so on, and you'll have Abhishek going on non-stop. Just like Mahashivratri, the night of Mahashivratri, it's a similar tradition that takes place. But Tuesdays also, as I mentioned, will also be busy for those who are the Shaktas, for whom Devi is the Pradhan deity, the divinity. So those who follow Divine Mother will worship specially on Tuesdays. And one of the popular mantras, there are many, but Mahamrityunjaya, jap, 108 times, 1008 times, it is done and chanted during this time. So let us do it together 3 times, this mantra from Rig Veda. And be very conscious of what you are chanting and saying in this mantra, Mahamrityunjaya, it is called. We are worshipping that three-eyed divinity of pure and pleasant fragrance, and who nourishes all, who is the sustaining force. And it's with a special prayer, like the very timely fall of a fruit from the bondage of the stem of the tree. May we be liberated from death, from mortality at just the right time. So we pray like this, and let us remember all those who have passed. These last 2 years, it has been so trying and so difficult. Many families have lost loved ones. So if there's anyone you want to remember during this time and pray for in a special way, you please be focused as we chant 3 times Mahamrityunjaya mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Boliye Umapati Mahadev ki Jai. Har Har Mahadev. Now we'll see quickly why this month, Shravan Mass, what is the association, what is this special connection with Bhagwan Shiva? There are many, so I'm just looking at 1 or 2 very quickly. And we are familiar, I think most of us, with the Samudra Manthan Katha that we hear often at Diwali time, because Mahalakshmi also emerged from the churning of the ocean. So the Devas and the Asuras, always in all of us, around all of us, when we hear Deva, when we hear Asura or Rakshas, it represents the force of Dharma and Adharma, the energy of Dharma and Adharma. So in this Katha, Devas and Asuras, they were churning the ocean. They took the decision to churn the ocean to decide who is the strongest. Okay, who is going to emerge victorious to acquire the Amrit, the nectar. Remember, they were praying for what? To be immortal. So this Amrit. And during the churning, it is said 14 treasures emerged. You can read more about it. Mahalakshmi, Kamadhenu, the Vishilin cow, the Sharanga, the Bhagwan Vishnu's powerful bow, Dhanvantari also, Professor J, the celestial physician, holding this healing, nourishing Amrit. But along with all of these beautiful items that emerged, what came also out of that churning was the halahal, poison, kalakutam. It started coming out of this mighty snake that was being used to churn the ocean, and the lethal fumes started spreading very quickly. So naturally, this was the cause of terrible panic, because it was suffocating the creation. There was fear and difficulty to even breathe. I think this katha is about our time now. Fear to even breathe. We feel suffocated. Look how many we're still wearing masks and so on. Okay, so see how our kathas, they instruct us about life all the time. It's not confined to a certain period or era or condition. So Bhagwan Shankar, he was the one petitioned to take action to save the world from this halahal. And why? Because he is Kripa Nidhaye. We described him in so many beautiful words. The treasure house of compassion and Tarakaya, the supreme savior, Dina Bandhu, the one who is the friend of all. We just saw this, saves the fallen. But there's also an interesting reason. It is because the snake that was emitting the poison was none other than Vasuki. Vasuki, you see that snake who adorns the neck of Bhagwan Shankar? So it was that very snake. So naturally, now you think, I don't know nowadays if children get chased by dogs. Can use this example, right? But I know many of us senior citizens, we would have gotten a dog bite or two in our childhood days. You'd be coming from school on some errand and people didn't have walls and all of that. Dogs were not necessarily chained. Praveshji, you know how many times I run from dogs? So you'd go running. But who is the one to get that animal under control? The owner. You don't call someone strange. The owner is the one to control that animal, to discipline that animal. Okay? And this is a great instruction. See how we're the biggest animals, the most terrible animals. We are our own selves. All those tendencies that we have that are destructive sometimes. I didn't put that verse here, but from that Hitopadesh, it talks about animals are sometimes even, more elevated than us human beings because of how we behave sometimes. So, Bhagwan Shankar was called on to take control of, to save the world from this poison. And there are two versions to this katha. One says that Parvati Devi, on learning what was happening and that Bhagwan Shankar had started consuming this poison to save the world, what did she do? She put her hand on his throat to hold this poison from being consumed by Bhagwan Shankar, so that it would not go into his stomach. This is one of the reasons why she's also worshipped during this time, because she played an important role in saving the world. And this impact, of course, turned his neck blue. And what's the name? We call Bhagwan, yes, Nilakantha. And then there's another version where it is said Bhagwan Shankar was able to do this by himself, to contain and to hold that poison so that it does not travel and it is not fatal by his yogic power. Remember, he is Adi Yogi, accomplished, he has all the siddhis, so he was able to control it and hold it in his throat, there in the neck, so that it will not seep into his body. Now let's see quickly the relevance of all of this. Life is supposed to be a discovery of our own immortality. We are supposed to be engaged in discovering and understanding this. That the Devas wanted this as the coveted prize, this Amrit. In this Bhavasagar, in this Samsar, it is like the ocean. That they were in the ocean churning, and this churning is going on all the time. Inside of us, as thoughts come, as they flow, as that thought process is going on, it drives our actions. Action is driven by a thought. So the forces of both dharma and adharma, they are there inside of us, pulling us. And what we empower inside, it is what will manifest outside. We say this often. What we empower inside, it will be reflected in our speech, in our behavior, in all our actions. So just as both beauty and poison emerged, that possibility is also there in all of us. Now see, trick here, all right? Indradev, it is said, knew that when this churning is taking place, Vasuki, this poison will start emerging. So he actually wanted the devas to hold the tail. Now follow this with me, right? He wanted the devas to hold the tail because if the poison is being emitted, what, it would be closer to the head. So he told them, the devas, you all go and hold the head. Right, Prof? Follow it, right? Indradev said, the devas, let us go and hold the head. So the asuras get vexed. How you all could go and hold the head, right? We want to hold the head. You all go and hold the tail, right? So Indradev said, and this is, you think of it, right? And even the devas themselves want to know about how Indradev could give in so easily and say, let's go hold the tail. So they all went down there. Of course, so he got reverse psychology. You know, sometimes we are in a situation and we can't understand and appreciate what's happening and why it's happening. So they both what? Now, they wanted to be by the tail because when poison starts, who will get attacked first? Who will get destroyed first? Those by the head, the asuras. But listen, they were all holding something that was poisonous. So it may be delayed, but they would all be affected. So be very vigilant about where you place yourself and what you hold on to. Just think of this. What are you holding on to? We hold on to things for many reasons. In this context, it is that which we hold on to for support. What is supporting you? What is your most important source of support? This is what this katha asks us to think about this morning, what Shravan Mas brings before us. So let us commit to stay away from that which is cruel, that which is destructive, that which is poisonous. Don't make contact with it. Don't nurture it. Don't spread it. Bhagwan Sri Rama, he told us this very thing when he was speaking after being crowned as the king of Ayodhya. Ehi tan kar bhal bishayana bhai, swargau svalpa anta dukhadai, naratanu pai bishaya manadehi, palati sudha te sath vishalehi. Bolo Jai Ram Shri Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Boliye Siyapati Ramchandra ki Jai. So we have to understand what life is about. We have to understand life's purpose. Life, Bhagwan does not say don't enjoy. What kind of life will we have if there wasn't anything to enjoy? So we must enjoy and appreciate and have all the pleasant, wonderful experiences. But Bhagwan Sri Ram is cautioning such experiences will be short-lived. It is not only what life is about. Those who pursue only worldly pleasures, only worldly accomplishments, having been given this precious body, this human life, it is like taking poison instead of nectar. Okay? It's like taking poison instead of nectar. So to contain all the poisons of life, a lot of which we create for our own selves, we must understand that we are Shiva. We are not Shiva. So we will stop here because next week we will continue. We'll have a second session on Shravan Mas and look at many of the other very beautiful traditions that are there. Boliye Umapati Mahadev ki Jai. Har Har Mahadev. And we will close our satsang this morning with the chanting of the Linga Ashtakam. As I said, during this month, many homes, bhaktas, and so on, they will all gather and do worship of Bhagwan Shiva, and one of those important forms of worship is the Linga Abhishek. So do join with us, whatever prayer you want to offer. If you want to remember someone, pray for someone, you can do so now as we honor and worship Bhagwan Shankar in the form of the Linga. Boliye Umapati Mahadev ki Jai. Har Har Mahadev.
Brahma Murari Surarchitalingam Nirmala Bhashita Shobhitalingam Janma Jagukha Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Deva Muni Pravararchitalingam Kamadahan Karunakaralingam Ravanadarpa Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Sarva Sugandha Sulepitalingam Buddhi Vivardhana Karanalingam Siddha Surasura Vanditalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Sanaka Mahamani Bhushitalingam Parnipati Veshtita Shobhitalingam Daksha Suyagya Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Kumkumashandadalepitalingam Pankajahara Sushobhitalingam Sanchita Papa Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Devaganarchita Sevitalingam Bhave Bhakti Dhireva Chalingam Dinakara Koti Prabhakaralingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Ashtadalo Pariveshhitalingam Sarva Samudbhava Karanalingam Shivaya, Om Namah 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 Shivaya.
Har Har Mahadev. We join in closing mantras as we pray for everyone and everything. Om Durjano Sajano Bhuyat Sajana Shanti Mapnuyat Shanto Muksheta Bandebhyo Muktas Shanyan Vimochayet Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahi Mahisha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Dhyau Shantir Antariksha Bhum Shanti Prithvi Shantir Apaha Shantir Aushare Shantir Vanaspataya Shantir Vishve Deva Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvagum Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shanti Riddhi Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Jag Pranam Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani Karau Pranam Jodi Joga Pani Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani Karau Pranam Jodi Joga Pani Jai Shri Ram बोलिए गजानन स्वामी की श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की उमापति महादेव की जगदम्बे माता की पवन सुत हनुमान की सियापति रामचंद्र की गोस्वामी तुलसीदास की ट्रिनिडाद और टबेगो देश की बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय 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 सीताराम हर हर महादेव. Please take your seats, everyone. So I just want to ask you to have a look at the calendar for this month, the Hindu calendar or Panchang, we have several special events that will be coming up, and as the next 3-4 weeks unfold, of course our satsang will focus on those special occasions. So next week we'll continue this session on Shravan Mass and look at a few other traditions, continue with some more Shivaji bhajans and Devi bhajans and chants as well, and the stotras. And Tulsi Das Jayanti will be coming up in a couple weeks, as well as Sri Krishna Janamashtami, Raksha Bandhan. All of these are special events during this month. So we will give you the information about this. Sundarkand Parayan will be done for Tulsi Das Jayanti. All that information will be shared with you on our Facebook page and other social media platforms. And please do subscribe. I didn't announce it for a while. Our YouTube channel, we're trying to grow the membership, and you can subscribe, help us in this process. Just encourage all your family and friends to follow our pages. You'll get all the information and of course all the posts concerning the satsang and the activities of the Hindu Prachaar Kendra. So we look forward to all of you joining us again next week. Have a very safe, blessed and productive week. We have nice weather this morning. Even when we woke up, it looked like it would be very rainy, but take care of yourselves, whatever you are doing, and we will see you all on Sunday morning. Namaskar.